She was a shining star.
Mary was the youngest, the baby of the family.
Our Big Rigs, Big Risks investigation began last summer, documenting the heartbreaking stories of families devastated by violent truck underride accidents. They are one of the most horrific and devastating accidents on our highways. Rear and side underride collisions happen when a passenger vehicle slides under the rear or side of a tractor trailer in a crash, often crushing or decapitating the people inside.
And it was like, I wish it would have been me instead of them, that they had their whole lives ahead of them.
5 years ago, Marianne Carth lost two of her daughters, 17-year-old Annalea Carth and her 13-year-old sister Mary, in a rear underride accident.
She was a gift from above, and it's taken its toll on the whole family, not having her here. It took many, many years to even keep moving forward for us.
Lois Durso's heartache comes from a violent side underride accident that claimed the life of her 26-year-old daughter Roya years earlier. The painful memory always with her.
And the rear wheel trapped it and dragged it for a while, and all the while it was crushing her.
The way the law is written right now, tractor trailers are required to have rear guards, and research show they help the chances of survival during an underride accident. But the nonprofit Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says the 20-year-old regulations are outdated and the rear guards don't always hold up. There are no laws requiring side guards of any kind on tractor trailers, something IIHS says would also save lives.
People are dying and they don't understand the risk.
Marianne Carth and Lois Durso took their grief, their heavy hearts, and headed to Capitol Hill, lobbying lawmakers for new laws requiring side guards and stronger rear guards on all tractor trailers. And in December, their hard work and our series of reports paid off when Senator Kristen Gillibrand introduced bipartisan legislation known as the Stop Underrides Act of 2017.
What do you think Roya would have said about this effort?
I think she'd be pretty doggone proud.
And I know that she would want to make sure that it didn't happen to another family.
Now the mothers have a new mission, pulling back all that red tape on Capitol Hill. The bill now sitting in the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, opposed by the trucking industry, which told us in December requiring new side and rear guards on tractor trailers would not be easy.
There's a lot of operational issues you have to consider.
What are the operational issues?
Well, there's all kind of stuff that you have to consider: the different configurations of the trailers, the way the trailers are used, high centering. These guards are pretty low, so when you're going over railroad tracks, they might get caught.
Ready for the fight, Carth, now living in North Carolina, and Durso, based in Florida, returned to D.C. to get the Underride Act moving again. Carth telling us this trip is at least the duo's 15th to Washington since March of last year. And that doesn't include the trips to trucking conferences, meetings with national safety groups, and crash tests. All that travel paid right out of their own pocket.
So we know that it's going to continue unless something is done. And it's been, I hate to use this word, but it's true. It's been a massacre out there.
In fact, the number of people dying in crashes with large trucks continues to rise, now at almost a 10-year high. How many of those are underride accidents? No one knows for sure, and that's part of the problem. The government has no standardized reporting for underride accidents. But WUSA9 is keeping our own count based on published reports. And so far this year, we've found at least 25 underride accidents in 21 different states. 20 people have died, 11 more seriously injured. That includes Reza Zadie of Jessup, Maryland, who died in February, and 30-year-old Christopher Padilla of Northern Virginia, who died on Thanksgiving Day. Vehicles crashing under tractor trailers has been happening since the 1950s, when cars first started sharing the highways with big trucks. One of the earliest underride accidents may be the most famous. Hollywood starlet Jane Mansfield died in a gruesome underride accident outside New Orleans in 1967. Her death is what first motivated advocates to push for stronger underride guards on the back of trucks. In fact, some still call those underride bars Mansfield bars. These moms demanding to know why 50 years later, these frightening and deadly accidents are still taking the most precious of lives.
I mean, this is grief-driven. We both feel the weight and the burden of the Underride tragedy. We have felt the pain of it firsthand, and so we want to make sure it doesn't happen to other families.